Strategic Management Assessment 1. A strategic assessment of the ethical, social, cultural and environmental responsibility on strategic choices within NTT. NTT has spent considerable time, money and effort in working collaboratively through strategy formulation and is currently knee-deep in Stage 4, execution of the strategy execution process. We have clearly defined our purpose and vision, as well as agreed on a set of values. We have clear objectives and we have strategy maps created around the 4 key areas of the balanced scorecard, that being financial, client customer, internal process and learning and growth. Our management teams are currently in the midst of putting these plans into place to align with our strategic goals. Today, I want us to jump forward to Stage 5, monitor, evaluate and adjust. Whilst the company is still very much focused on adjusting for the COVID-19 impacts, I want to draw light in the particular areas of sustainability as well as security and privacy, where we are also seeing changed behaviours in the industry. First, we will look at sustainability. There is mounting pressure on the IT industry to accelerate the delivery of the UN's 17 Sustainability Development Goals, hereon referred to as the SDGs, as we enter what has been described as the decade of action. Like many organisations, NTT has aligned its focus around several of the UN's 17 SDGs. The goals selected leverage NTT's strengths and vision to bring ideas, technology and people together for better. Initiatives include Connected Conservation, the Soy Dog Foundation, Ronald McDonald House and more. In April 2020, NTT announced that it would become a business adventure, joining 16 other global giants with a purpose to contribute towards the success of global goals. NTT elected to represent the Sustainable Cities and Community Goal, which strongly aligns with our purpose and helps us demonstrate the why of our vision, that being, through technology and innovation, we deliver a secure and connected future that empowers our people, clients and communities. The Las Vegas Smart City project provides safe, reliable and efficient civic technology that stimulates economic growth and is a demonstration of NTT's ability to partner for the purpose of creating shared value. However, if NTT is to achieve their goal of being a top 20 valued global brand, then there is another SDG that needs to be addressed, and that is climate change. Recent events around the world have caused climate change to rise to the forefront, and according to the World Economic Forum in 2020, both established leaders and up-and-comers agreed climate change is the standout long-term risk the world faces. Our emissions targets set out in the Paris Agreement are also on shaky ground. Now, whilst technologies are targeted to accelerate achievement of the SDGs, the IT industry has also been called out to cut their emissions by at least 45% by 2030. Data center represents 1% of all electricity consumed worldwide. This is predicted to grow and account to 3.2% of the total worldwide carbon emissions by 2025 and up to 1/5 of the global electricity. NTT is the 3rd largest operator of data centers in the world. Whilst NTT actively addresses energy efficiency, there is no evidence of NTT publicly announcing their targets for renewable energies or reduced emissions. Both Equinix and CenturyLink, the other 2 top data center operators, along with many other global companies, have clear publicised goals to reduce their emissions. When looking at the IT industry through the lens of Porter's 5 forces, there is fierce rivalry among existing competitors. We typically compete on price or with new products and services, but our competitors are increasingly looking to differentiate themselves through sustainability and performance. We do not want to be left behind. It is suggested that we review our strategic objectives to include specific goals around our SDGs, including climate change, and we put in place objective measures to enable us to report on progress to our stakeholders. Now let's take a look at security and privacy. Cyber exploits are more sophisticated, elusive and targeted than ever before. According to the NTT's Global Threat Intelligence Report, technology remains at the top of the list of most attacked industries. It is not just the company's data to be concerned about, but the organisation's clients, customers, partners and employees' data is also at risk. Data privacy laws have been tightening around the world, and we are seeing the European Union's 2018 GDPR influence in many regions outside of Europe and most recently in California's. Repercussions for data breach and data leaks are high. take a look at the 2017 Equifax breach, which cost the company over $4 billion in total. The governance, risk and compliance landscape is becoming more complex and challenging to navigate. This creates burdens on existing players in the IT industry and increases the barriers to entry for any new players. As mentioned previously, competitive rivalry is fierce. Players that are able to maintain clean records could be a significant differentiator, similar to Qantas's clean safety record. The bargaining power of key suppliers with clean records may also increase within the ecosystem. While our internal security function is deeply focused on security awareness, prevention and security best practice, this alone does not guarantee we won't suffer an attack. Security needs to be front and centre for everyone and embedded into our culture. It's not if, but when a cyber attack will occur. Any player in the industry that fails to manage their privacy and security risks will be at risk of reducing their competitive position and value share. To minimise the damage of an attack, it is recommended that NTT incorporate two of Sun Tzu's strategic success principles. 1. Be combat ready at all times. And 2. There is a need to be on the offensive rather just the defensive. Conclusion. It is evident that NTT largely follows best practice in their strategy making, strategy executing process. NTT's vision has enabled them to align their strategic thinking to support current social, ethical, and environmental issues. Where NTT plays in the IT industry, rivalry amongst competitors is fierce. Large companies in the industry benefit from economies of scale, entrenched partnerships, and brand loyalty, and compete strongly at the enterprise market level. To stay at the top end of town, it is recommended that NTT consider some strategic adjustments to A. Incorporate real objective performance measures against its sustainability goals, B. Introduce an emissions reduction target, and C. Embed security firmly into the culture.